Hello, welcome to Betfred's football show. I'm delighted to be joined by Paul Parker. It's Cheltenham week here. That's why we're on Zoom. And Paul, you went on Wednesday to Cheltenham. Enjoy yourself.
I did enjoy myself. Less rain, and the answer to your next question is no. I didn't have a good time. In the sense of
the,
betting, I should say.
the atmosphere at Cheltenham's just fantastic, though, isn't it?
It's a really, really good day, to be perfectly honest. That's my third time inside the last 4 years, and I've enjoyed it every single time. Saw the boss, went and saw him down in the ring before the first race where he had a horse running, which didn't do as well as expected.
No, I didn't hurt Hermes Allen, unfortunately. Cheltenham's a sporting institution. We've got a sporting institution this weekend in the FA Cup. Parks, you won the FA Cup. Is the FA Cup getting a bit of its sparkle back, do you think?
I think so. I really do think it is getting it back, and it's only been lost because we've got people and musicians who want to talk down about it. But I think we're seeing more teams now, the so-called bigger clubs, who are going for it. They're playing stronger teams, and they're the ones who should be playing the stronger teams because they've got the bigger squads, the bigger and better squads. So they should be able to play their players and then give the respect to the lower clubs so they can play against those players. The lower clubs, as much as it might give them an opportunity to maybe believe they can get through, they want to go out and they want a giant kill. They want to play against the big players. The one thing as well, which is slightly better, is the way they've done the replays. It's given an opportunity sometimes for the smaller, lesser clubs to earn the right for another game as well. So I quite like that, and it is an institution, as you said, and it's something that we should never lose.
Because you obviously did it, but we both probably grew up dreaming of playing in an FA Cup finals, didn't we?
Well, we grew up playing in back gardens, and after that cup final was played, we all wanted to be the winning goal scorer in the playing in the garden. I mean, me and my two brothers used to play against, used to be me against those two, and we used to play that game in the garden. It was something that was kept alive all summer. It was the last big game, and it was something that was kept alive in the back garden for a few weeks after. Then the start of the season, once that season starts again, all you're doing is on a countdown again until that cup final.
But you scoring in a cup final was never going to be a reality, was it, Paul? Let's be honest.
No, it wasn't. It certainly wasn't, Mark, and it wasn't needed that little bit after.
Right, let's talk about the game. Saturday night, Man City, Burnley, 5:45. Home draw for Man City. A huge squad. What a performance midweek as well. Basically, you expect Man City to get in the semi-finals quite easy, don't you?
I think I have to, regardless of how well Burnley's done and how Vincent Kompany's done at Burnley. I think everyone does believe that Man City want to get there. Man City are looking at the moment; they're looking at trying to do a treble. That's what they're. So Pep Guardiola, he's going to want to do something like that. Obviously, he definitely wants a Euro, to win a Champions League as well. I know, if anything, really, if there's one of the three, I'm sure he'd love to have that one in his pocket as well. But that game, Burnley, who everyone talks about the football they play. Vincent Kompany has used his experience from playing under Pep, and he's taken that to Burnley. I mean, Burnley must be in dreamland. Burnley fans are watching stuff they've never ever seen, and all the great Burnley teams from the 50s and 60s. But people that maybe can remember them, but never mostly remembered anything like they're watching at this moment in time. Excuse me. But I do think in the end, City have got to be on a massive high after that performance midweek because people were putting that game on the edge, weren't they? People weren't sure about it. What was going to happen next? And they told the story. Haaland has come out and just scored goals in that Champions League again. Now it needs Man City to try and get back to where they were, of the goals being spread around because that's been their big problem this season.
Go on, give us a score prediction then for Man City, Burnley.
I've got to go 3-0, 3-0 to Man City.
Then we move to Sunday, and at 12 o'clock, Sheffield United versus Blackburn. We're going to have at least a lower league team, one championship team in the semi-finals. I think this could be an absolute cracker, this Sheffield United versus Blackburn. Obviously, both have got other priorities, getting back into the Premier League, but this could be a great game, Paul.
Yeah, it just anyone who loves football will always look at it. Always look at Sheffield United because obviously they've been in the Premier League. There there. I think I'm trying to think what it was. It's maybe not in August, maybe the third season of the Premier League, if I remember rightly, playing against them for Manchester United. So that they've had a couple of stints in there. Blackburn are winners, or ex-winners of the Premier League. But I look at Sheffield United. They're the team for me, from Chris Wilder even now to where they are now. They're the team for me who are going to win that game. I just think they've got a better squad of players, and they've got some really key players there that still, from my opinion, surpass Blackburn.
And then give us a prediction then. Come on, scoreline.
I'm going to say Sheffield United 2-1.
Then we move to 2:15 on Sunday, Brighton Grimsby. I tell you what a draw for Brighton. What a chance for Brighton to get into the semi-finals. Although, of course, Grimsby, fantastic win in the last 16.
Yeah, I just think I look at that Grimsby one, and I think they caught the team at the right time, really, for them. When going through, everything was going wrong for Southampton at that given time. The manager decided that he could suddenly come into the job, and he leaves that Ward-Prowse. The fact of that, the Grimsby players would have seen that and maybe thought that was a little bit disrespectful, because he is key for Southampton. You don't leave any man like that out, regardless. You're talking about a big game at the weekend. He wants to play in a game like that, and Ward-Prowse has maybe missed out an opportunity to play in this game, to play in the quarter-final. But I look at Brighton, what a great chance for them to get to another final. I'm trying to think, 83 was the last time, wasn't it, against Manchester United, if I'm correct. Yep. And then their season, this way it's going in the league, they're looking for qualification to Europe as well in the league. It could be their greatest ever season, the way it's going for them. So this is a home banker for me. Has to be. I mean, Grimsby is not going to be able to deal with their movement. Grimsby will start the game sitting so deep and hoping for a counter-attack, hoping that maybe they might nick a penalty or something like they did against Southampton and play in that fashion.
Come on and give us a prediction for Brighton versus Grimsby.
I'm going something very similar to Man City. Similar, exactly the same. I'm going to go Brighton to win that game 3-0.
And then 4:30, two-year-old clubs, Manchester United versus Fulham. Manchester United get another home draw, Parks. How do you see this one?
Well, I know there'd be a lot of people moaning and calling out for a conspiracy with United with a home drawer, first and foremost. I'll just look at this game. I look at the way United have been. They got taught a lesson. What happened against Liverpool? I still think that people should be asking Liverpool questions about the high there to the low against Bournemouth and to the low again. But we're not getting that. We're not getting those questions asked about Liverpool. And sometimes you do need it when you've been on a run there, Ben. You do need a little bit of a spank on the bottom, and they got a big one. But I think with the way Fulham have been, they've got hit in their worst spell of the season so far. They've lost that spark. They're not making that many opportunities. Defensively, they're conceding more goals. United to win this one 3-1.
And how good is Marcus Rashford at the moment? That was his 27th goal of the season last night.
I'll say what I say all the time at the moment. I think Ten Hag has worked out about how to get the best out of him. And what he's been instinctive all season. Everything is kind of bang, bang. Anything he has to think about too much, it doesn't go his way. His strength is the ball in front of him, shift it out of his feet and bang. And he generally hits a target 8-9 times out of 10. And that's when he's at his best. And if he tries too hard, the most annoying thing about him sometimes is when you see him with 2 or 3 players around him, his decision making could be so much better. If he was to get his decision making right about when to pass, he would be then. You'd talk about an all-round player, maybe talking about maybe one of the best players at a given time in the world. But when you're talking about scoring goals, he is the best in the current climate, because Haaland's form has dropped off for City in the league. Rashford's hasn't dropped. It's been consistent. Even you spent more times out of the game and in the game. But when you come in the game by scoring a goal, everything else just gets covered over because goals is what it's about.
Pick one team to win the FA Cup then, Parks.
Manchester United. I have to say that. I mean, you know what I've been like over the years, and I would say I maybe been a bit of a sceptic, but I would have to say at the moment in time, the way United have, with that win, with that defeat, I should say, against Liverpool, they've had their that little bit of, I can't even say bad luck. They've had that spell. I just think the players are hungry. The more games they get at the moment is the better for them, and that is Manchester United. If you want to be a top side, you've got to play a lot of games of football, and the players have got to want to play in them because that's why you're at Manchester United for. It's not about resting; it's about playing in every big game. Key players arrive in big games.
Right, let's whip through the Premier League fixtures tonight. Nottingham Forest versus Newcastle. Nottingham Forest went on that great run for just getting dragged back into it out of the Parks.
Yes, they are, but it's all about their away form, to be honest, Mark, isn't it? Really, their away form is atrocious in the sense of the goals they're conceding and their manner of play compared to the way they play at home. This is the kind of game which Nottingham Forest will love. When they play the big sides at home, they raise themselves. The Brendan Johnson suddenly come out of their shell a bit, even though Brendan Johnson maybe has been their best player if you look at it in certain ways. But this is a game I would expect Nottingham Forest to get something from this game playing against Newcastle. Newcastle are not high scorers. They're not big goal scorers. They play a kind of football where they kind of suffocate games a bit. They're not outlandish in the way they play. They've got players who could express themselves. They don't really do that. I think it's the way they're managed. Very similar. The management team with Bournemouth, very similar to the way Bournemouth play. So I'm expecting Forest to get something out of this game. I think this has got a great chance of being a 1-1 draw.
Okay. Right. 3 o'clock Saturday, Aston Villa, Bournemouth. Bournemouth in the bottom three on goal difference.
Yeah, Bournemouth, they pulled one out the bag last weekend, I have to say, deservedly so, the way they went about the game. You know, they surprised everybody, surprised a lot of people. Didn't surprise me because I had it down in my predictions as Bournemouth to win that game. I had it as 1-0 as well.
Well
For
done.
some reason. I don't know why I done that, but I did. But I've just got that feeling now. They've had that bit. Look at Aston Villa. They was at West Ham last weekend. Didn't express themselves. Content to draw the game as they did in the previous game last season with Steven Gerrard as manager. They come to around Christmas time, I think it was. They come to London Stadium and just sat in there. But if they're at home, the fans are going to want more. I expect Aston Villa to win this game 2-0.
Brentford, Leicester. Brentford on a great run.
Brentford at home is cut to the chase. Brentford to win this game. I'm going to say 2-0. Leicester there isn't enough about them. They've come away from that good times as such they were a few weeks back, and they've gone back to where they were at the start of the season.
Southampton lost midweek to Brentford. Southampton Spurs.
Well, Spurs, I mean, just cracked it really against a poor Forest, and they wasn't great. It was just more about how poor Forest was. They're not good Spurs, to be perfectly honest. There's no drive in them. I don't know. I don't know where Spurs are going. When you look at them as what they are, Spurs, what they were, they're nowhere near it at this moment in time. This is Southampton could pull this out the bag because it's a big game. It's Tottenham coming to town. They were happy with their 0-0. They played like they were happy to be 0-0 against Manchester United last weekend. They're at home. I'm going to go Southampton 2-1. Just by the fact that Spurs at home couldn't get anything going in the European game, in the game against Forest. And if you're not going to find that drive in your two home games, you're going away from home. I've got that feeling that Southampton are going to keep their hopes alive of staying up by beating Spurs.
Wolves versus Leeds. This is a massive game.
This is a big, big game. And Leeds, you try and talk about Leeds having bad performances. I don't think you can. you just question the fact about them scoring goals. Patrick Bamford scoring a goal is a massive plus for him. That might lift him a little bit. You see a lot of effort with Patrick Bamford, but he doesn't seem to be back to anywhere near he was. He doesn't seem to be running comfortably. He's chugging when he runs. He's not at what he was before, that kind of strong running style of his. But they do make opportunities, but it's that final bit. Execution is key on their ball in or the fact of shooting a goal. But for me, this Wolves v Leeds game has got a great chance of being a score drawer. That's another game I'm going to go for here. I'm going to go for 2-2.
2-2, right. Chelsea Everton 5:30.
Well, we know this is another. It's not a high scoring game. This one, when you look at this one, Everton hardly.
Yeah. Have Chelsea turned a corner, do you think?
Yes, I think there's definitely something there. I was there for the Dortmund game. I watched Chelsea v Dortmund, and I was sitting around a lot of Chelsea fans, and I mean, I was before the game. It was just a case of, well, they're there. We have to go through it, season ticket, whatever. But they said that was the best 45 minutes they've seen from Chelsea in a long, long time. That first half against Dortmund, it was end to end. There was just good football played. They were making opportunities, and they were definitely. But everyone consensus said that Chelsea were better, and they have moved on a little bit in the way they're playing. I'm pleased. I'm pleased with Graham Potter, to be perfectly honest. What was directed at him wasn't nice. But I look at this game here, I have to say that Chelsea are going to win it. Everton can't score more than one goal in the game. They haven't really got that. I think this is the kind of game that Chelsea could win 2-0.
And then on Sunday, 2 o'clock, Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. Right. First of all, let's just deal with the news that Crystal Palace have sacked Patrick Vieira.
Well, I was asked this question last night when I was at the West Ham game, and they talked about David Moyes, they talked about Patrick Vieira, two London clubs who are, not in the best of health at the moment in time. Palace slightly better because they're higher up the table, even though there isn't no great margins with the points. But I said it'd be foolish to do anything now. It wouldn't make any sense. There was something good about Patrick a few months back, and all of a sudden it's lost his way. People saying the fans are getting at him. I'm disappointed that he's been sacked, to be honest. It's a Crystal Palace. I don't think they had a good window. What he was looking for, something to bounce back, to keep going what he'd started. And again, Palace I thought they'd got away from where they've been over the last few seasons under Roy. And Roy worked wonders. Seems like they want to go back to bringing in someone like Roy again and go through that. And I feel sorry for the Palace fans. It's a great club, a community club, an honest club. We do so well for the local area. I was with the chairman of Hartlepool last weekend. He talked about what they'd done for their previous manager, where they put money in because of his wife having cancer. They paid for the coaches. Great club in that sense. But I think they let Patrick down. I'm reading about fans. Oh, he had no plan B. People have got to look themselves in the mirror when they keep saying that. It's just that doesn't make any sense. So my answer to that is wrong decision. Now you're going to have to find someone. You think a new manager coming in will make a massive difference and get you out of trouble. The days of Big Sam and all that, that's all gone now. It's going in football. I still don't believe that is there. You can just go out and there's somebody there with a magic wand to change it, add something in the dressing room. There's a lot of players there, players who have been there a while, new players, and they all respected Patrick Vieira. Simple as that. So a new manager coming in, it's going to be very difficult for him to change the kind of style that they play.
Who do you think will take over? And they've got, 11 games left? They're 3 points above the drop zone.
Yeah, I couldn't name anyone at this moment. I could not think of anyone at that moment to come into that job. I don't know. Are they going to bring Sam back for another stint at Crystal Palace? I'm not sure, Mark. I'm really not sure.
And obviously, Arsenal, what effect could going out of Europa League on penalties have? Obviously, they've only got the league campaign. Could it actually be a positive now? Because they don't have to worry about playing on a Thursday night.
I don't think so. I think me thinking as a player, I think we've missed out on an opportunity. I'd be seriously disappointed. And I think anybody who says they're professional football, you have to be disappointed. You've got to be disappointed. It keeps your levels going. It keeps you on your toes. You've got something to aim for. At this part of the season, you're not bothered about. It's a fact of life. When people go to work, they get tired. And when I hear fans, everything, I don't know where it's come from, have got into people's heads about having a rest. No, it doesn't make sense. If you've got 11 players, there might be one player who loves a clip in the afternoon before a game, but you've got another 10 who are like Rolls Royces, Ferraris, every kind of supercar who need their engines purring. They need them ticking over. They need those high profile games. They need that adrenaline buzz. They need that adulation to go and play games. And missing that Thursday once every so often could make a difference in their running. They've got to go. It's a bit of a down. I mean, I think about it. We come back from Galatasaray after going out the Champions League. We come back. Our first game is against Manchester City. We go 2-0 down. We get a few harsh words said to us. We come out second half. We score 3. You need that European buzz. So the player, they will be feeling it, but you do miss it. You do miss those extra games when you're in this position of where Arsenal are to take them over the line. Because if you're getting that game one every 6, 7 days, you've got that bit in between, and people say you can do the work and the players can have their feet up. That's a load of rubbish, in my opinion. What keeps you going, especially if you're top side, is those adrenaline buzzes of playing games that are meaningful. Every game would have been meaningful between now and the end of the season, even if they was in Europe. And Arteta, we've all seen him on the touchline. He, at the moment in time, is as low as anything. He was desperate for that. And if he wasn't, he's not the person I see on that touchline. He won't be bouncing around going, oh, great, we're out of that now, we can concentrate in the league. He wanted to be in that.
Give us a prediction then for Arsenal Palace.
I've got to go for Arsenal. The fans are going to be going about it. Arsenal to win that game. I'm going to say 2-0.
2-0 to Arsenal.
Yeah.
Paul Parker, thanks very much for joining us. And remember, if you're having a bet this weekend on football, please keep it fun and gamble responsibly.